All right, my friends, welcome to the Truth Tribe. I'm Dawn Thompson. Thank you all for being here. I want to remind you that you are all perfect exactly where you are in this now moment. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. And remember that I love you very much. Tonight, we're going to talk about the CAT scan. It's time for a CAT scan for your soul. That was a little bit like a tongue twister. And I bring this up because as hard as it is for everybody to comprehend, I cannot be more adamant about the fact that you're all waking up to realizing you're in a movie, like you're in your own movie. And the earth plane, the earth that you live on, you have to remember how tiny you are. The earth that you live on, right, is going through an energetic shift, and you are part of the earth. So you're going through an energetic shift within your cellular energetic frequency as well as the earth. Okay. So we're all organic. We're all part of this entire ecosystem of the collective that's going through an energy shift. And when I mean shift, I mean it's shifting up from the third dimensional to the fourth dimensional to the fifth dimensional. Some people can ascend into 5, 6, 70, come back down. Right. But the point being is that we're shifting. And what's hard to understand for a lot of people, and I've been trying to like wrap my brain around, there's so much happening in the planets, in the sky, in the universe, in the galaxy, and the planet. And it's hard to even tap into which one to share with you that's most vitally important. So I did my best tonight regarding the CAT scan of your soul. Okay. So what's hard to understand is that what we discussed last week, if you didn't listen last week, go back and re-listen, or it's on Spotify, you can just listen and walk or something. You cannot receive the new, my friends, if you are stubbornly holding on to an old version of yourself. And most people are. Most people are holding on to an old version of themselves, not intentionally, but you guys have to keep reminding yourselves you came here with a freaking tattoo on your soul of your energetic blueprint. You have an energetic blueprint, and it tells you exactly what to do, where not to go, who to talk to, it tells you everything. Okay. And yes, it's got a few boulders on it that you have come to learn boulder removal. You've come to get over that amnesia, wake up and go, oh, right? But I know many of you have done a ton. Most people in the Truth Tribe have done some, if not a ton of internal work, myself included, right? I do this for a living and have been avoiding. I watch people and they're avoiding their personal boulders. Like, ugh, I don't want to deal with that rock, that boulder that's in the way, like it's uncomfortable. Okay. And so boulders that I think are fascinating because they're easy to see in your own birth chart. But again, our belief systems are holding us, it's your belief system is sitting here and it's holding your nervous system hostage by saying, this is what I know. This is what I'm comfortable with, period. I don't want to admit to a lot of other things that I've learned that could be actually cool and freeing. And how I've lived my life may not have been for my highest good, but this makes me super uncomfortable because if I said it, I might be embarrassed or I might feel guilty or angry or sad to admit that that's how I live my life. I get it. I did so much of that my whole life going, what was I thinking? I was a huge people pleaser. Telling you, I got over that. I finally got over it, but I had to see it. Big boulder in my life. Yet the higher the frequency version that you want to live in, and everybody keeps saying, I want to be better, Don, I want to be better. Have you all noticed that I don't give a shit what happens if a scamdemic shows up from people losing jobs, losing money, the world's blowing up, all this shit's happening, right? No matter what happens, if you ever notice, nothing's changing. You're still here, you're still fine, you're still going through the same cycle you keep going through. Yet, the higher frequency version of you that you want to live at is so much better. Not only for you, right? But for everyone, because for everyone in your life, because they know then who you are, what you want, and they know how to interact with you better because that's your truth and they know it. but we're not all being honest about what that is. So yes, it's time for a CAT scan of your soul. What is a CAT scan? It scans your physical body and looks for spots and boulders and bumps and, blockages. But we're not doing that in our energy field, in our people field, and our experiences field. And there's a huge planetary, there's so much going on in the sky that I'm going to try and correlate all this for you. So you're understanding, like, in reality, what does the energy mean? That's what it means. Okay. So the challenge that you're all up against right now is that you've been taught nothing in school, unless you were a science nerd like me and you asked for it. Right? But you've been taught nothing about energy and frequencies and vibrations and sound and water and transference. Right? And so because you don't have a lot of knowledge on things that are actually real and scientific and powerful, right? So understanding these energies that ignite your immortal soul. People are like, really, Dawn, I'm immortal? Yeah. Right? You'll realize you can live longer, you're happier, you're living when you can awaken that soul. And your soul has a very specific soul signature with hot spots or boulders, right? Shall I call them, on your soul signature. So you're all awakening to the fact that you have two options to live right now. And a lot of people don't like their options when it comes to truth, right? So the challenge is that you don't want the truth. You want the truth of your comfort zone. And that's what I am watching every freaking day happen to people. I want the truth, Dawn. Okay, well, here it is. But that's not the truth that's too hard. Okay, but that's the truth. So what you're saying is, I want my nervous system truth. I don't want the actual truth. I want what I was told is true, not the actual truth. The truth that would free you, that would, give you so much bliss. But the challenge is that bliss means you have to undo the nervous system truth. How do I know this? Because Saturn, the planet of order, structure, foundation, rules, control, that planet is it's a hard knocks planet, but it also wants you to grow a foundation so you're stable and strong, right? But it's in the sign of Pisces right now. You're all feeling this, right? You are all feeling it. Saturn is in the sign of Pisces, making everyone fall prey. I'm watching people do it left and right to behaviors of self-sacrificing, self-undoing. I mean, they're undoing their own blessings, being wishy-washy, delusional about truth. And the simplest way to understand this is you guys can go to my website, tap on tools, run your free birth chart, and just see where Saturn, personal, your birth chart Saturn, not transiting chart Saturn. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we're in your birth chart. Where does Saturn sit in your astrology? Right? In your natal birth chart, in your soul signature, as I call it. And wherever Saturn is in your personal chart, it's what's getting awakened in you with right now to override. It's trying to be stubborn. It's trying to be the boulder, right? A truth that you don't want to address or climb that mountain. That's what's sitting there with Saturn. It wants you to see the demon that you don't want to see, to become empowered in that area. Because what happens is you don't really want truth. You want your comfort zone truth. And it's time to free yourself it's time to free yourself from yourself. It really is what it is, right? I'm listening to people judge and criticize and critique others, and I realize it's only because they refuse to walk out of their own jail. And so when you go and look at Saturn in your own birth chart and you see where it sits, I mean, is it in your 12th house of self-sacrifice and self-undoing? Is it in your second house of money, where you question and you undo you refuse to climb the boulders and the mountains of money? Is it in your belief house and you refuse to, disconnect from the cult you grew up in? There's so many versions that we won't look at, but if you look there and you go, yeah, I'm being a little bit stubborn in that department. This is the CAT scan of your soul. This is you scanning your soul. When you go look to see where Saturn sits in your chart, you'll go, yep, I'm definitely avoiding that. So the thing you avoid most, my friends, is what will free you all from jail. Life is not new. It is just a new view of you. Nothing happening to you is anything new. It's been going on since the beginning of time on this planet. You are just able to see it because you're all on digital screens that can connect you to anyone in the world whenever you want. The entirety of your soul's incarnations, right? There, I want you to think about the entirety of you incarnating. Let's just say you've had, let's make it an even number, 50,000 incarnations, which I think is a small number for most of you, but let's just say that's 50,000. Right? So the entirety of your soul's incarnations, there have been zero scanning of yourself. That CAT scan of your soul's grid, because you've had no reason to do it. You've had no way to look at your own chart. You've had now all of a sudden nowadays people are going, oh my God, I can pull it right up on a screen and look at my grid and go, wow, scan my soul. Most people have been unaware of their ability to scan their blueprint and the boulders awaiting removal. You have a Saturn sitting on top of you right now, waiting for you to remove it and or climb over it, or some version of you. Drill a hole through it for all I care, right? You are immortal. You are superhuman. You are a soul that has the ability to do super things in an instant. But just acknowledging you just have to acknowledge where your insecurities are. And avoiding it is why you're struggling. Okay. Now, I'm preparing you all right now. Okay. There is no avoiding this anymore. You are running your own CAT scan or you're not. I have people are like, I don't want to listen to that, Don. Oh, it's astrology. Like, don't listen to me. Don't listen to half the astrologers. Don't listen to anyone that's in the metaphysical that understands physics and science and quantum physics and quantum science. Don't listen to them then, because they're right on the freaking mark. And that mark matches your personality grid, which is your spiritual, energetic DNA, which is your birth chart. That's your spiritual DNA blueprint of your energetic DNA, which matches your physical DNA. Shocker. I know. That's what we're talking about on Saturday and in the retreat. Everybody right now that's sitting on this call, Facebookers too, I want you to think about one area in your life. Okay. One area in your life, it's your biggest challenge right now. Maybe it's always been, maybe it's always been your biggest challenge, right? And you're like, this cycle that frustrates me, Dawn, right? And I can guarantee you it's one of the hot spots or boulders in your personal soul signature blueprint in your birth chart. Okay. So if you want to see one of those boulders, like I said, go look for Saturn and you'll see. And then if you really know your chart, right, go see where Pisces sits in your chart. So where the planet Saturn, it's a little brown H. And then I want you to go look for where Pisces is in your chart, because the transiting Saturn in the chart, those two houses. So we're not looking really at where planets are or where Pisces is. If you just look at a chart and find out what those houses are, where they sit, you'll know what part of your life is broken or breaking apart so you can break open and blast into the new you. So scan your internal if you don't know your chart. Scan your internal and just say, okay, Dawn, just ask me, what is the biggest challenge in my life right now? What is it? And whatever that biggest challenge is, write it down. And then I want you to realize it's coming from in here and we have to push it out and address it out there. The old you has been addressing it from out there and bringing it into here. And it's not working anymore because it doesn't match your soul's blueprint. So the CAT scan of your soul is freedom. Awakening to your new reality. Okay, because Pisces, Saturn sitting in Pisces, is the sign of creativity and water and flow and intuition. You are overriding that system by being diluted and watered down on how present you are with yourself. So it's reflecting out of you in two ways, right? Saturn, the boulder inside of you where you feel insecure, because you are going to feel insecure there. It's going to come out of you in two ways. You're not horrible and you're not happy, right? Because you're not horrible. You're not like dying. You're not miserable, but you're not happy either. You're right here in the middle. And everybody wants this easy button. Everybody wants the easy button. This is what society's been taught to do for so long. And it's not completely your fault, right? It's not by now, but this point in time, I mean, everything we've been through together, right? It's time to wake up. You've done the hard, heavy lifting, and now Show me the reality I want. And if you're saying that to your God, to your angels, to your spirit guides, the universe, show me what I want, you better be damn crystal clear about what you want, because Pisces is wishy-washy, confusion, delusion. It's a beautiful sign, but boy, can it get completely deluded about what it wants. And so if you don't know, Saturn will give you pressure to show you why you don't know. So it's time to freaking wake up, my friends. It's always been that way. You're just more vividly aware of your reality. The reality that you create your own physical experiences by your own choices or avoiding choices. And a lot of people right now, have you noticed, are avoiding making a choice. So when beliefs are in question, you're going to see two different groups. This is the first group, the prove me wrong group. You'll say, oh, I know a better way to do that. Oh, I know a natural healing elixir. Oh, I know something that could help you. It's not mainstream. As Dawn, you all know, I do not do anything mainstream. I have a broken arm that I did not have any mainstream medicine treatment. And it's healing quite lovely in 2 weeks. It's not totally healed, but I'm just giving you an example. So my point is, you have two groups. The prove me wrong group, one group's going to say, oh, you think you're right? Prove that I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove that you know better than me. And then you have the second group that says, can you teach me what you learned to see if it will help me? There's a group that just says, I just didn't know. That's that group. Will you help me? I'll try it. I don't know if it'll work, but I'll try. The latter group is, I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to stick with my political, my medical, my education, my religious beliefs. And I'm going to be polar. I'm going to be polarized because that's what I'm holding on. Everything else I'm open-minded to, but that, no, prove me wrong. If you have someone telling you to prove them wrong, you don't need to prove yourself to anybody, my friends. You hold your ground, you stay light, you stay lit, and you love everyone, even if they're flailing and they don't want to leave their post. I don't care what they believe in. It's okay if they do. The challenge is that you're feeling frustrated because you're leaving. This polarity is pulling across, okay? And that polarity is pulling across over here to the point where it's so extreme, you're about to feel the snap. And you didn't think that would happen. So the challenge, many of those who have done the work they're experiencing this right now, is that you believe either you have to prove to another person that they can feel better, or B, you have to teach them what you learned. Now, I personally don't think either of them is true. Just see which one you're experiencing. You're gonna watch what happens. If the first one is prove me wrong, you say, no worry, when you're ready, you'll let me know. I'll give you the information, but you're probably right. And walk away. The second group, if you've done the work, if not, if you haven't done the work, you're going to be the one going, oh shit, making people prove me wrong instead of just trying. The second group will say, oh yes, I will. So your response to them is, I will send you information. Let me know if you have any questions, right? It's time that you own your own story to see, how much bullshit it is, because you're people pleasing. You're trying to every time you're trying to rescue another person, another environment, another animal, another something, and it's not benefiting your own life, my friends, you're not filling yourself with self-love. You are going outside of yourself to try and prove it to someone else that you're good enough. Most people on my calls and in the True Tribes are already awake. I get that. But now you're being tasked with being put into positions of knowledge. So it's going to be very hard to decipher, what do I do? I'm telling you, you do not prove yourself to anyone ever again. You've worked your asses off to research, to find natural healing modalities, all the things we talk about on the Truth Tribe. And I'm serious. I told you 4 years ago. I told several people about like 7 or 8 years ago. Religion is going to crumble as you know it, and it is. God's not crumbling, as we all talk about. I talk to God all day long. God and spirituality and forms of religion that are in the loving space are not, but most religions are crumbling. So all these institutions, if you're going to hold on to them, one is no different than the political, than the educational, than the medical. They are all in a box institution. So you've got to be open. So that knowledge that you're learning is like, oh my gosh, they're probably been lying to me. There's other ways. Well, the other ways go so against your nervous system. I'm telling you, it's going to freak the shit out of you when you move. You're going to have anxiety. I've been feeling anxiety lately, a lot of it. And it's just, it comes and goes and comes and goes. And I'm like, okay, move on to something else important to me. You're going to apply it to your own life as an example, or you're going to tell others how to live. Like you're going to go, look, this is what I do. You're welcome to come with me and do what I do or not. So when others want to know how to remedy something or how you're living such a beautiful, amazing life, and you've already found a natural, simple solution, it takes work. You're going to have to give them the work too. Because they're going to ask you. Others will ask, but then they want you to prove to them it works. And this shit irritates the crap out of me. And the answer is you cannot prove anything to anyone anymore. Everyone must do the work for themselves. Even if you think you're so evolved and you've done the work and you're a master healer. No. I'm teaching this in class on Saturday. I don't care if you are a master healer. We all have something that we have to own in ourselves. That Saturn boulder that sits in our chart. This is such a big deal. Even in my coaching practice, I have had countless couples come to me and ask me for help. And I keep saying it. I do not do couples counseling. I will never for a specific reason, because you don't need a mediator. You need to grow the fuck up. And one of the people in that relationship is typically the one parenting, and the one parent wanting to receive assistance in getting the partner to grow up and stop being a child. You can see it hands down every time. Or they're acting childlike, the person, one of the people in the couple. And the challenge is that each of you chose to step in and play a role in assisting each other to wake up. And now that one of you is awake, you don't like that the other one wants to continue to receive your nurturing in their unconscious state. And most of us go, oh no, I'm conscious. Most people aren't, because consciousness is hard. And so the only way you remedy this is to stop supplementing the sleep-induced state of your partner, of your child, of your friend, of your coworkers, of your boss, whoever. And most people do not wake up until they are in pain, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. What does spiritual pain mean? It means you're not living your truth. And that's when you start feeling depressed, sad, uncomfortable, anxiety, nervousness. Depression, you guys, simply is a simple, it's very simple. Woo, so sorry. My camera fell. A second, let's do this. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that, Facebookers. I dropped you guys. Oops. So the conflict that happens with depression typically is between your soul's truth and the external reality, and it's telling you what truth is. That's when we have depression and sadness. And then y'all go to a doctor and they're like, oh, here, pop a pill. All of you, Tony, if you're on this call, will you type in the chat and remind me the name of this book? One of the best books, it's Hidden Connections, I believe it's called, but I cannot remember his name. If y'all want to read a book about antidepressants and how they don't work, and science and research has been thrown to it left and right, and there's proof that it does not work except for the most extreme cases. I mean, like maybe half of a 1%, right? So Lost Connections, that's what it's called, Lost Connections. So if you guys want a really good book about depression, that's what it's called. It is an amazing book, and it's actually quite interesting and fascinating. Talks about therapy, which is why I don't believe in therapy. If you're sitting and just ruminating about what's wrong with you, because you will sit in negativity and talk about what's wrong with you and who did it to you and whose fault it was and why they did it and what's wrong with them. And that's why I am how I am. That's why I don't believe in it. I don't believe in not going to counseling and coaching and healing. That I 100% believe in, because it's what I teach. But to sit and ruminate about it, that's where this book is amazing. So my point back to depression, you have a soul blueprint, and your soul blueprint says, go do this and you'll be so happy and blissed out like on drugs. You'll be so happy. And then the external reality says, no, you don't get to be that. You can't say that. You can't do that. You don't be here. Don't be. When you're with this family, you can't talk. When you're with that job, you can't be that position because you're not smart enough. And when you're with that kid, you got to tiptoe around that. So the external reality is telling you what is your truth, and your soul knows better. You don't need to go out and improve what your soul came here to do. It already knows what to do. You don't need to prove it to anybody. You don't need to make others feel bad either and degrade them or dismantle them. You don't need to tell everybody you know what's happening out there on the other side of the world because over there in 3 countries away, you know what's going on in that war. No, you don't, because you're not there. What I'm trying to tell you is you're living outside of yourself every time you're trying to rescue a people, an animal, an environment, a situation. You don't need to tell someone how to heal their body if they do not want to heal. That's the point. But we can go, I have an idea. I know how to heal that, but maybe they don't want to. You do not need to step into a role that you are not able to express to others unless that is your truth. That's your job. So that's what you do. Okay, go for it. When you stop trying to accommodate and fix and rescue the external world, again, environments, people, and even animals, you will see that you are living your truth, not trying to fix the external world so that you can feel better about yourself. And the depression, the sadness, the anxiety, all of that calms down because you're doing what fills your soul. And then it will not cause depression and sadness and anger and resentment because you're so happy living it, speaking it, being it. Right? And it's a big deal right now because it is who you are. You're all lighthouses. You're just being the lighthouse then. You're just being and shining your gifts, right? Whether those around you, whether it's your family, your spouse, your children, otherwise, whether they agree with you or not. You can still love them without judging their choices of not awakening or not seeing what you see. Or maybe they don't want to awaken. Maybe they want to live where they live because it's safe and it's happy, and leave them the fuck alone. They will still at some point see you at your best, your brightest self, because your soul will not guide you down a dark path, my friends. It will guide you to a powerful lighthouse path, but you have to pick it. So here's the simple solution to scan your soul. CAT scan. You're not going to CAT scan your body. You're going to CAT scan your entire energy grid. If you don't have a plan on what you will do, where you're going, where you want to be, a big vision, a career, a philanthropic type of thing, a job, a goal, if you're just running around with no purpose, it's going to be uncomfortable, right? And so if you don't have a plan on what you will do, what that thing that you're going to replace, the thing for the thing you don't want, which is anxiety, depression, frustration, boulders, right? If you don't have something in replacement of that, and you don't have a vision of something bigger than you can bet your booties you will instead linger in too much of this victim poor me attitude. You will. You will stay stuck there. Saturn in Pisces is intent on keeping you there. I'm telling you, so it's asking you to push past it. All of you right now, repeat after me. Absolutely not. I will not stay one more day in a self-imposed prison. I will walk into my best life now. Remind yourself, absolutely not. I will not stay one more day in did you hear that word? Self-imposed prison. Any of you stuck right now, it's because you're in a self-imposed prison because you're afraid to tiptoe around someone and hurt their feelings. If it's your truth, then it shouldn't hurt their feelings. They should actually be grateful that you're able to express it. Period. But tiptoeing around people, they can feel you, my friends. They know it because Saturn is trying to go, oh, trying to cover up the wishy-washy Pisces. We see you. All right, so here's your planetary update. To match all that, because it's an insane show out there right now. Okay. So given our discussion on your soul's CAT scan, right? We're looking at our soul's blueprint. I call it your energetic DNA because it is. It's a spiritual blueprint of your DNA. And that spiritual energetic blueprint matches your physical DNA. It's mind-blowing, okay? Your personal soul signature blueprint, your birth chart, right? I want to remind all of you how vividly important it is right now to understand. And I can tell you what's happening up in the sky and the planets every single day and their movements and what's happening. Okay. This is allowing all of you to understand that there is a language with all the universe and the galaxy and the planets telling you exactly what's going to happen energetically and how you will be guided and encouraged and directed. Okay. But you will always have an option of taking the high frequency of that energetic flow or the low frequency of the energetic flow. Okay. So much as I share with all of you regarding like what's happening in the sky. Okay. I don't want you to mistake the fact that, oh, Dawn, thank you. I see why I'm feeling this way. And then let that be your excuse for not growing because it's the planet's fault. No, 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 no. This has always been a big deal for me when people want me to read like their birth chart or their astrology or their energy grid, right? Where you get validated, right? I validate you, but then you still hide from the boulders on your path that they're right there saying, just don't avoid that. Don't avoid that. Right. And so the boulders are your specific reason of why you're all struggling on that grid. So you need to know that nothing, if you knew nothing about the planets, nothing about the future, nothing about the change other than I've told you, we're going to a better place. Okay? But the old place must burn to the ground. Huh, kind of looks like the world around us is burning to the ground. Thank God. Because the old shit was total bullshit and you knew it. But instead, you're being told that you're burning to the ground. You're going to get sick. You're going to die. You're in trouble. You got to go to the doctor. You got to get an x-ray. No, I don't fucking got to get an x-ray and get more radiation in my body that I don't need. But you're being told that, which is no longer serving you. In every aspect of your life, it does not serve you. In self, in money, in siblings, in communication, in mom, and home, and family, and children, and romance, and health, in partnerships, in contracts, in intimacy, and transformation, and beliefs, and career, and public, and your mental health, and your intuition, and your self-undoing. In every one of those aspects of your life. Okay? The system never served you aside from being controlling, creating suffering, creating sickness, and creating slaves. You have all been enslaved in an enslaved mindset up until today. And maybe I thought I shared that with you over the last 3 years, and I kind of have. I've been a little bossy about all that, but I am trying to get you guys to wake the fuck up. I mean, seriously. I cannot be more clear because get ready. The planets right now, everybody's like, what's happening? This is what they're telling you to do. Wake the fuck up and realize the whole system's burning to the ground and you get to pick your best badass life. Wow. So I'm going to go into Monday, even though, yes, we're going to have a call on Monday. I'm just giving you what you're feeling already. So there is a lunar eclipse. I'm not going to touch on it too deeply because I'll give you details specifically on this eclipse on Monday specific when we do Tribe again on Monday. Okay. March 25th. It's next Monday from today. Okay. There's a lunar eclipse in Libra. And this is why I bring it up because Libra rules partnerships. It's the scales of justice. It's balance. Okay. And so we're so close to that full moon. It rules relationships of all kinds, right? And it will set you on a closure and an ending, a completion path. Why? Because full moons rule closure. They rule completion. It's going to be more elaborate, but you're feeling it already. Relationships are coming up. And it's like you're all upset about it instead of going, huh, I love them, but I need them to be where they are. I need to put closure and move on. Where do I want to go? Quit making it so serious. You're moving away from habits in relationships, bad habits, I should say, or past habits of all kinds, contracts, business, and personal. Okay, it doesn't matter which version they are. So what this is going to do, it's going to ask you to open your mind to let others decide if they want to be in that relationship or not. Choose slow, right? Do you want to choose a slow contract with this person and they slowly just catch up to you? Or do you want to choose a fast contract, either to get out, move on from them, or a fast contract to heal it and fix it and move on? But this stuff's going to come up because Libra is also the people pleaser. Right? And so because Libra is going to put closure to the thing I keep trying to tell you all, people pleasing. People pleasing is over, my friends. Now, I don't mean kindness. This is where I call bullshit on all of you. You're like, well, I'm not people pleasing anymore, so I'm not doing that for them or whatever it is. If you're going to be a jerk, that's not being like, I'm not people pleasing anymore. That's just being a jerk. Okay. So you need to learn how to balance this energy out. It's not easy because it's all brand new. But FYI, you're working your way into that lunar eclipse and you're all going to feel it because relationships, you usually don't feel it unless it's in a relationship. Now go back last week. There was that super moon in Pisces. It was new. It was a new beginning. And I just reminding you, it still holds true that the theme of that was intuition, our beliefs, our long-term plans. So that theme was tapping into your intuition of creativity to make a plan for all the habits and thoughts that are no longer serving you. This Libra moon coming up on Monday is going to help you close it. But it also wanted you to observe them with that red pill, which is you need to wake up to what are the consequences of staying the same, of not changing, of not seeing some of your old bullshit that you're like, have I always done this and I just didn't want to see it? I've been doing a lot of that lately. Right. So next week, I'll get a little bit more into the details, but here's an additional Mercury retrograde. I'm pretty sure it kicks on the 26th or the 28th. I was writing this part quickly, but I do all this off the top of my brain. I want to say it's on Tuesday. So we're in the shadow of Mercury retrograde right now, my friends. Isn't this great? Now, I don't mind Mercury retrogrades, but again, you have to be willing to slow down. And of course, my broken arm slowed my booty down big time. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's not a big deal anyway. So we're going to discuss it on Monday, but a lot of you are feeling this, your speed is starting to slow down or things are starting to slow down a little bit. The only message I'm going to give you this week about Mercury retrograde showing up next week, because it's already kind of kicking in, is don't say it. Mercury rules communication, written and or verbal. Anything with forward motion about what you were trying to say. And I'm saying, if you don't feel the need that it's going to make you better, don't say it. If it's not going to make the person you're talking to better, everybody's struggling with their own bullshit as it is. They don't need you to make it worse. So if it's not going to make something or someone better, don't say it. Why do I bring that up? Let's add more fuel to this fire in the sky, okay? Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, all right in the next 2 days. You're feeling all this energy. Why? Because we're in the next 2 days moving into the Aries spring equinox on the 18th. Or I'm sorry, on the 20th. Today's the 18th. So then we move into 0 degrees of Aries on the 20th, causing us to feel a little bit, okay, think about Mars and Aries, right? Mars is the god of war, aggression, drive, right? And so when we go into that Aries equinox and all that Aries energy, we're leaving Pisces, wishy-washy, into bam, I was upset and now I'm going to throw it at you. So I'm telling you, you're all going to feel a little bit more feisty and angry and assertive and aggressive. And so you're going to be thinking like, wow, I got confidence, when actually it's coming across as mean, angry, and aggressive. So everything in the sky right now is screaming at you to shut the fuck up, zip it, and go inside and do a CAT scan of your soul. Work on you. I cannot emphasize this any better than I'm saying, my friends. And when you're like, you want to say something to someone, if I can't say something kind about them right now, you can say it later, just not now. So the equinox, when it happens on what is today? Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday. On Wednesday, Um, all this Aries energy moving in is like that, the Aries equinox, the spring equinox is like a tuning fork. So it's tuning the planet. So it's time to adjust your internal energy, because for the next month, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, there's a lot of concentration. I talked about this last week. It's similar to a stellium. All the planets are jammed into one or two, about 3 signs in 3 houses, almost 4, right? And so when it's jammed into certain parts of the chart like that, wherever and they're going to be different parts for you. Remember that. So wherever your chart is, that's where they're going to look differently. Okay. But you can go look at your own chart, download a free chart if you don't have one on my website, and go look for Aries. It's April. Taurus is May. June would be Gemini, a little bit of there, but then back up a little bit in March. They're leaving some of that Pisces energy, but there's a couple in there. Saturn's still in there. Okay. And so you have all this concentration in those areas. They're basically, they're trying to get you to open up and see, like, have you been self-sacrificing? Huh? Have you been sacrificing your self-worth? Have you been questioning your value, your money, who you are? Are you enough? It's a big deal. So in simple terms, my friends, you're being directed to go inside, stare down your demons, come out as a lighthouse with your brightest dream shining. No one's going to be like, oh my God, that dream you have, that's so stupid. And if they do, they don't get to participate. It's your dream. If your dream is to own a greenhouse and you want to grow beautiful, beautiful plants, then that's what you do. I would burn them all. I would not keep them alive. I'm terrible. I want it, but I'm not good at it. But then some people are just talented. Okay. There are things that you want. And if someone doesn't like that for you, then that's okay. But there's no going back, my friends. Embrace anything pushing you inside to see how beautiful you are. And then say no to any darkness. That's all you have to do. You're just being guided and helped by the energetic patterns of the universe to push you back inside, but it's going to feel like you want to go outside. Okay. Everybody right here real quick, tap it into your thymus. This is your energy system, your nervous system. And when we type into tap in your thymus tap, I want you always to do this all day long right now if you're having anxiety. I am courage. Speak it out loud or speak it in your heart. I am courage. I am love. I am truth. I know courage. I know love. I know truth. One more time. I am courage. I am love. I am truth. I know love. I know courage. I know truth. All right. I'm going to open up the Q&A. It's completely open now. The chat's also open. So if you want to share, I want you to share where you are in need of looking at a scan, like going, you know what, my world, my energy field, there are things that are, and again, I'm talking about the challenge I asked you earlier. What area of your life are you the most challenged in right now? And what is it that you need to work through? Like, oh, Dawn, because you got me. You might as well ask me, right? I want you to bring that up. I want you to go, okay, if I did a self scan, if you know your chart, you can tell me where Saturn sits in your birth chart. You can tell me what house. Is it 1, 2, 3, one of those houses? And I can tell you exactly where you're having challenges. And it's not a negative. I'm not happy for you. I'm just letting you know that once you know it, it's a big awakening. Mine's in my 12th house, guys. So I am teaching what's called the DMT method on Saturday. It's our all-day retreat. It's a Truth Warrior. And this DMT method it blows everybody's minds, right? Because everything in it is quantum. And so it's hard to wrap your brain around until you do it. And then you're like, holy shit. It's so basic, but it's so hard to wrap your brain around that it could be that basic and work that powerful. That's what I keep trying to teach you. You got to let go of what you've known so that you can bring in something even more powerful and simplistic. It's hard. So my 12th house has forced me with Saturn in there to make this thing happen. Was it painful? Yes, it was painful to make it. Now it's made. Now I can't wait. Now we're going to have so much fun just talking about this stuff. It's exciting. All right. So here's a question that just came in. The other person just asked, what is the name of that book again? Hold on. Let me pull it up. It's called Lost Connections. Lost Connections is the name of the book that I mentioned earlier. If you want to learn about how made up depression is, which is sad, and what I try to tell people is if you knew your truth, if you knew your soul's blueprint, you wouldn't be freaking sad anymore. You'd be like, I know what the fuck I'm here for. Don't tell me I'm supposed to go be a professor when I want to go be I want to own a little hut on the beach and be a surf instructor. Your soul knows. That's why you're sad. That's why you're depressed, because you're doing shit you don't want to do. It conflicts with your soul. And then you go to the doctor and he numbs your soul even more, which you know is not okay. That's what this book's about. FYI. That's what the book's about. I say it that way. He says it very clinically as well as pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. What is this? This question came in here. It says, when the full moon comes, is it always bad? No, 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 no. This full moon is amazing, guys. Okay, so this full moon, oh my goodness. I am so sorry I keep scaring you guys. A second. Let me get this up. It's my phone holder. So those of you guys on Facebook, I apologize. That's what I just threw you guys on the ground, but you're back. Okay. Full moon. No. Full moons are not bad. They feel bad because most people don't like to let go and most people don't like change. And if you don't like change, you might not like a full moon because it's asking you to release. So it's actually simply ending this full moon, because I brought it up in Libra, and Libra rules partnerships. It's ending that people pleasing pattern. That's what it's going to end. It doesn't mean you're going to end relationships. It doesn't mean your marriage is going to end or your boyfriend or girlfriend relationship is going to end. It doesn't mean that. Okay. It means the people pleasing patterns. And I mean, in the marriages and relationships that you're in and you don't realize it, you may not even know you're doing it. And then you start going, oh my gosh, I am totally people pleasing. And you may stay with many of the contracts or relationships that you have. So don't think of them as bad, like, oh no, it's bad, I'm going to end my relationship. No, you just may start pleasing your own soul for a change. And it doesn't mean you have to be mean about it. You just have to start being happy about it instead of angry about it. Fall in love, excuse me, with your own soul. Fall in love with your own soul. Find ways to nurture and please your own heart, right? That's simply all it is. It does not mean ending a relationship, or ending who you are when. It just means ending how you engage with the relationships that you do, how you engage with them. Does that make sense? So they're not bad. It's actually when you're trying to maybe put closure to a project, going, oh my gosh, I'm so close. I'm close to the end, right? For me, I have a Libra moon in my chart. So my chart has Libra moon. That's part of my chart, right? And because of the Libra moon, this class is over on Saturday. So Monday will be a wonderful closure to all the partners that showed up and all these people who have showed up for this event. It's amazing. And I'm so excited for it. But that's what I'm trying to say is it's a closure on being on, and my moon is in the stage house, being on stage entertainment. And so I'll be able to put closure to that. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be something extravagant or ending a marriage. It could be. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It could be a marriage. It could be a relationship, or it could be a blow up in a relationship. That stuff that needed to be talked about and you haven't been talking about it comes up. No conversation, I never believe, as long as it's being productive and you're trying to grow from it, even if it's something that's hurting you, no conversation is a downfall or a negative. We have to talk about it. If you suck at talking, then you're going to have a hard time with some of this stuff. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions? Like that was just so you got it. Excuse me, I don't know, my voice is thrown off. So you got it, right? All right, so let's see. Next question. Let me get this up here real quick. Oh, this is my first time. Everybody say, welcome, Carol. You can't hear them. They can't hear you, but I welcome you. What you say resonates with me. You said to go do a soul scan on your website. Any other advice for me as a newbie, etc., what to check out? Okay, so this is the other cool thing. Thank you, Carol, because you just reminded me, because I love to like give so much information out, I forget about the main things. So there is a free birth chart on there, and it gives you a mini description of every sign in every house of your chart, right? Like, that is me. The second thing is that there is also, I opened up my relationship toolbox on my website. Everybody on this call, it's open through the entire month of March. It's 12 steps. I don't care if you're in a relationship, you want to be in a relationship, you want to heal your relationship with your children, and you're struggling because you just can't see what, what you're struggling with or them. If it's little children or younger children, don't do step, I think it's like 9, 10, 11, and 12, because those are like intimacy things, or I should say 10, 11, and 12. But aside from those, all of these tips work with every relationship. So thank you, Carol, to remind me my relationship toolbox. If you also go on the website, go up to courses, scroll down, you'll see a relationship toolbox. It says free on it right now because I opened it up to the public. I wanted February, the month of love, and now we're in March, the lucky month. I wanted you all to get lucky and feel better. Feel like you've got energy on your side. Feel that you've got the luck, of all this energy on your side, but you can't do that if you don't have something to teach you tools. Now, as you all know, I don't believe as much as that you need therapy as I believe we don't have tools. Nobody was given tools. None of you. No, I wasn't. We weren't given tools how to communicate better, how to talk to our spouse better, how to talk to our children better, how to talk to ourselves better. Like, what do we want? Right? Oh, happy birthday. And she just had a birthday, everyone. So wishing her the happiest birthday ever. This is awesome news. So what I want you guys to know is, again, thank you, Carol, for reminding me, and welcome. We'll see you every Monday. We love your questions, so bring them in. 3 things I want to remind you guys. Facebook, there is a Facebook group, and I'm going to keep moving. Some of my links might be broken, but any link from this point forward on the landing page of my website to, if you're just in Facebook, make sure you go say, yes, Dawn, I want to be in the Facebook group. It says Facebook Truth Tribe with Dawn Thompson. You'll see it. Just sign in or become a member, and I'll log them all in. That's where I'll dump any information that I talk about here, or links or whatever from this point forward. Or if you have questions that you want me to answer prior to the Truth Tribe, that's where they all are. Number 2, the relationship toolbox is wide open. So if you are going, I don't know what to do, my relationships suck. Okay, well, then you have no excuse, because it's free and it's really good. So, and it's me, I'm on there a couple times, different, points, giving you video tips and telling you what to do and how to do the steps. And then number 3, most of all, I want to thank all of you who are going to join me on Saturday. We have, our next event will open in a few days, next week. It's Colorado. We're going to be in Denver. Okay, and that will launch in the next week, but I'm not going to let you know. So it's coming soon, the new Denver launch. But sunny Arizona, we are doing our Truth Warrior Retreat. And tomorrow, the doors close tomorrow for registration. So if you want to be there, you'll have to find me personally and privately to join into that group. Okay. So anyway, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be amazing. I just want to thank all of you who are attending, because it's going to blow your minds. So anyway, this is awesome. It was great to see you guys. Remember, if you are listening to this after we record live, you are in the session. All the links I'm talking about will be below in the YouTube or Spotify comments and notes section. They will be below. As always, you guys find me if you have questions, either in the Facebook group or in Messenger. I love you. Thank you for joining me tonight. You guys have an amazing evening. I'll see you next Monday for the full moon in Libra. Brightest blessings. Take care.